Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Mad Shad. On this wet Sunday. Wet Sunday. Yeah, wet Sunday. It's very wet. Yeah, it's just rain. It's rain. Temperature, it's climbing up back up to 80. Welcome to Northeast Ohio in the summer. Yes, it is tolerable though. It's nice. Tell you about those. Did not have a nice day.
Those Americans that are trapped in Afghanistan left there by Trader Jonah's malicious slasher cooperative regime.
At least we forget 13 servicemen and women died at Abbey Gate, Kabul, Afghanistan, along with 200 poor souls. 300 plus people lost arms and legs and limbs, things that don't go back. A lot of them service members as well. Every day, never forget.
And never forget whose fault this is. And yes, deploy knife hands.
But there was hope. Folks getting him out. Task Force Argo, Task Force Pineapple, Project Exodus, Project Dynamo Christian Coalition, Mighty Oak Foundation, just to name a few. And least we forget that 700, 800 plus individuals are still incarcerated over the J6 debacle, held there as political prisoners without sentencing, without bail, torture, solitary confinement conditions. Someone lost an eye. There have been suicides.
Every day, never forget whose fault this is. And yes, definitely deploy more knife hands.
But there's hope. Thousands of people, family, friends, loved ones, charitable organizations, law firms doing pro bono work, even some senators, congressmen, representatives, judges, former president, soon to be president, and Supreme Court getting into the fray. Meanwhile, speech crimes. Ooh, speech crimes. Ooh, wow. Interesting. And also, a world court. Ooh, a world court. How's that going to work? So you're telling me that if someone says something that's against the narrative, wrong speak, right? Wrong speak is a speech crime. Wrong speak is a speech crime. And so what happens is they issue a warrant. They make some, usually, well, what they've been doing in the ook is they've just been literally just saying, hey, you're under arrest. You're getting tried and you're going to prison for a couple of years. But if you're rich and powerful like Devildawg, CEO and founder of Telegram, right? They just make up some trumped up charges, lure you into France, because of some kind of meeting that there's a very important meeting, and lured you into France. And before he even touched down, they were writing up the warrant. And they're like, boom, get him. All kinds of stuff. And it's because that they, if you don't know the story of Devildawg and Telegram, right? It is a Russian. Devildawg is Russian. And he created Telegram back in the day, and it is literally it's a encrypted type of messaging platform, right? You can basically say whatever you want there, and there's no moderators. There's nothing. There is a subscription, right? You do have to pay, but he got in hot water first and foremost from the Russians, who wanted to have their state-sanctioned access to be able to monitor and delete and of course charge people and go after people for wrong speak. Well, he denied their request, their demand. He denied it, and then he's actually been in kind of exile, so to speak, in Russia, for a while. But it didn't stop there. Now, of course, we have the thought police. Ooh, the thought police. That is worldwide, and they have created a world court, so to speak, to govern wrong speak. And yes, it is the brainchild of Klaus, right? But hey, whatever. Here we go. Yes. As long as I don't bump anything and don't move anything, we're okay. But anyway, so the UK, which is turning into the extreme authoritative tyrannical regime overnight, as we speak. It's been going on for quite some time, for years actually. Talk to anybody over there in the UK and the Euro sector, right? Lots of things you cannot do, lots of things you cannot say, right? And of course it's happening here. Of course it is. Of course it did. That's why I have this video every day. Never forget, right? People that are just, standing outside watching the chaos are getting a couple years in prison, being incarcerated and held against their will. Same thing there, and it's to begin. It's to begin the tyrannical, shall we say, get used to it. This is the new normal kind of shit, right? So that's to normalize and to make us ever vigilant and walk on eggshells to what we say. Ooh, what are your pronouns? Oh, I better say them correctly. Ooh, right? Meanwhile, everybody else, the invitees, the guest, right? The guests that have been invited to the host nation, they get to do and say whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, I mean, literally, the UK has been getting more and more just stabby. Lots of stabby going on. Lots of it. And it's from the inviter, the guest, the nation's guest, the guest of the nations, the new guest of the nations, right? Because they want them to create the crisis, right? Destabilization, crisis, normalization. Normalization being, hey, this is the new normal. Do what we say, or, well, there's no other choice. You do what we say, and that kind of thing. So, welcome to the full-on tyrannical regime. Yeah, and yeah, that's what's going on here, folks. That's exactly what's going on here. So, Mr. Durov, he was instructed not to take down seditious and violent speak on his Telegram platform, which he denied, of course. And so he was lured in. He was lied to, lured in. That said, hey, we want to have a meeting with you. Somebody, some company, some whatever. We want to have a meeting with you in France. Come on down, and let's discuss details. Mr. Durov is he's worth a lot of money. Millions, I think. He's not a billionaire. He might be. I don't know. But they did the same thing to Elon. Elon just basically said, "Fuck you. Won't do what you tell me." I trust him? I really don't. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, rich South Africans and rich Russians that get hemmed up on charges. Regardless of what they haven't done anything wrong, right? So they're just they're the biggest threat. So of course they're going to go after them. And what makes you think they won't come after me and you? They are in many ways. It does happen, right? So and we see it every day with the DEI and the corporations and in our places that we work in social medias that we propagate and that we use. You can't, if I go to DMV or something and say some wrong speak, chances are I'm probably gonna get thrown out, or cops are gonna arrest me for something. I mean, you just can't say whatever you want. You're standing in line at a grocery store and something happens and some blue hair turns around and goes, "My pronouns are they, them." And you're like, well, they need to get the fuck out of my way and out of my face. Right? We still have that moxie, that grit, and the world does too. And what you're seeing over there in the UK, it's playing out. Most of the indigenous people have just said, okay, fine, let's go to ground. and they're hiding because there's roving bands of idiots with swords, knives, spears, and shields, just beating and stabbing the fuck out of anybody that is not not on their team. So you got multiple teams out there. One major team, which is they call themselves the MDO, but it's their sympathizers as well that jump in. Anyone that is not of their part, that don't have a membership to the Aloha Snack Bar, well, they just get, it's whatever. Rules for the rules for against infidels is anything goes. And so that's anything goes, and world domination is basically their mission statement. I mean, it is. If you read the books, listen to their speeches, that's what it says. And anything is, they have their own special code of conduct, of course, against for their people, but everybody else, it's free game. So that's exactly what they're doing. And they're being aided by the authoritative tyrannical regime. Right? It's a test, plus it's an exercise to see how what is the barometer pressure? What is the temperature? How hot can we turn up the water, the heat on the water with the boiling to get it to a boiling point with the frogs in it, and you're the frog, right? So it's that's what's going on, and sure enough, yeah, it's going on here now. Worthy of note is that lots of shit is going down in Ireland, right? Specifically Northern Ireland. Very spicy, very, very spicy indeed. Every acceptant center that has been built has been burnt down. Everyone. And then so if they, of course, when they can't house thousands of these new guests, then they put them in, say, a hotel or a school stadium or something or whatever, old college dormitories, things of that nature. Well, they get burned down too. So, of course, we all know the Irish, the Fighting Irish. I mean, and yeah, Colin McGregor, he's all behind this. He is all up in this shit. He's like, yeah, fight, right? So, of course, they're coming after him, and he just straight up say, fuck you, you can't do anything to me, because he's an American citizen, right? So they have threatened American citizens, and all it takes is just a yeah, what do you call that thing where they expedite you? Yeah, they expedite you. They issue a warrant for you, and so that's the emergence of the world police. The world court will issue warrants for your arrest, and the host nation that you live in must comply. So they will send their jackbooted authoritative thugs against you, put you in silver bracelets, probably a bag over your head. Scrub all your internets, kill your dog, of course. You'll lose everything. They'll auction everything off. It will be gone, everything, and you'll just disappear into a memory hole. Or they'll parade you around off of, and show it and say, "Hey, look what we found. We found this tango here. He had everything in his house from freaking method to boom making materials to look at all this seditious white supreme pizza literature everywhere, and that's how they'll play it, even though you just said something online that said, what, fuck you, right? And if the more views you get, the more dangerous you are to democracy, right? So it's all about being a threat to democracy. So, they have this world court and everybody thinks, oh well, what about the Nuremberg? What about that's all been hijacked, man. That's all been hijacked. That's all been repurposed against me and you. Yeah, that's how serious of what's going on out there, and in here, right? And amongst our borders, we have had more. I mean, the UC is only boasting like 3, 4, 5 million of those new invitees. We have over that. We have more than their combined population living here now. I think in guesstimations is 50 to 60,000. I think it's a lot more than that. No, 50 to 60. 50 to 60 million. I think it's a lot more than that. So if you can overload, and that's the Clover, was it Clover Piven? Yeah, the Clover Piven strategy. And what we're looking at is a strategy operation, and then later on the hands-on tactical bullshit goes on later. But it's not about. It's about the strategerisms, right? Remember that word, the strategerisms, right? And that is their strategy, is to overwhelm our systems, overwhelm our resources, overwhelm everything with these new guests, right? And let's see what happens. Give them everything. Give them everything they absolutely need. Everything they absolutely need and want, and give us nothing. Matter of fact, take down systems that provide for us. Take down things that we thought, oh, that's a great idea. Having tax breaks for things, not having to pay certain fines and fees and regulations. Now all the fines and fees and regulations are going up for us. Yeah, for us. Mind you, make no mistake about it. If this country falls, the world falls. Right now, the world's kind of pushing back. It is. It's kind of pushing back. It's in its early stages of something kinetic. Of kinetic physics. If we want to talk about some physics, right? Things physics that you cannot deny. It is a very objective reality thing, physics. So the kinetic portion of physics is always the most explosive and penetrating, right? So yeah, that's going to ramp up on both sides, right? As either a gaslight or a false flag or just a pushback. Like, hell no, we won't take this anymore. We're not gonna take it. No, we're gonna take it. Right, that kind of thing. And that's what they want. They want crisis. They want destabilization. They want crisis. So that therefore they can just roll on in with whoever and whatever and do whatever. Because by that time we are beaten, bruised, battered, and broken. And, no food, no water, no power. If you haven't noticed, our food supply is greatly diminishing. Our infrastructure, power, and water is all under threat and constantly being tampered with. There is dedicated individuals that spend their whole lives to keep these infrastructures and these systems going. But can this strategy? Do they understand the strategy that's being played out, the strategy, the operations, and the tactics involved? Most don't. Most do not. So that's what it takes. It's all the shit behind the curtain going on that we need to stop. It's not the shit on the ground. By the time it gets on the ground, it's too late. You understand? Now, mind you, there are groups and people that are fighting behind the scenes, behind the curtain, against these same in I call them EOs, the elite occultists, because that's what they are. Yeah. There are those that are trying to do stuff, but you know, it's a very, very hard battle to be able to fight in the shadows, fight in the darkness where they reside. So but the biggest, it's not all doom and gloom, right? So just non-compliance is all it needs to defeat tyranny. Non-compliance. I mean, it's very simple, very, very simple. But it's hard to do the simple things, isn't it? So anyway, I'm getting on a little tangent and rant. So yeah, last night did not do Trial by Axe. Just wasn't feeling it. I mean, I wasn't feeling it. And by the time it was time to go live, I was not prepared, and basically I just said to hell with it. I'm just gonna have a peaceful night, and do some reflections on things I need to work on. Which that's part of it. Is that's what they want, is personal struggle. Once we become personal, we get stressed out, and we have that frustration, we have that stress. We're having to deal with everyday life, which keeps changing and seems to be rigged against us. That's where it starts, right? That's where it starts. It's and then of course you hear about all the other bullshit going on. You're like, well, fuck, man. It adds to the desperation. It adds to the feeling of hopelessness, and that's what they want. That's what they want, and we have to we have to remember our forefathers, our ancestors, and and the work they put in. The work they put in to make this world a great place. And I'm not just talking about the United States, but yeah, everything. It's not them that fucked it up. It's us by allowing them to fuck it up. Right? So, like I said, behind the scenes, it's always behind the scenes. Never mind the man behind the curtain. Yeah, no, definitely mind the man behind the curtain. So, with that being said, yeah, I will try to do a Sunday Reflections tonight. I'm in a dark place, so that's part of it too. When you go down rabbit holes and into the abyss, and you come back out of it, you always have a little bit of that abyss on you and in you. So having to detoxify from all that is quite the experience, So anyway, yes. So without further ado, go Team Devildawg Prepper. Go Team Devildawg Prepper. Fuck brain surgery. He is recovering from brain surgery, and he's doing well. He's coming along, but it's still a long road ahead. Indeed. So please go to Devildawg Prepper and sub to his channel. Watch all his comment on all his videos, and then share them. And so let's get that brother up. Last time I checked, he was at 420 subs. So let's get him up. So when he is ready and able to start making videos again and go live, he'll have a great platform, like a great base to go from. So go TeamLinda. Go TeamLinda. Fuck cancer. She is still fighting cancer, still doing the things she wants to live, and she's really serious about that. So I gotta love that. Gotta love that fight. That fight in her. Man, it's amazing. Yes, so go TeamLinda. And go TeamJoe. Go TeamJoe. Fuck addiction. He's been battling addiction. I think he's past 60 days clean. Getting out of rehab, getting back into life. Dealing with of course health issues. That's that's a compounding factor, right? That'll make you want to just drink even more. So, anyway, yeah, go check out Joe Morgan's channel. Give him some love and support. This has been Mad Shad. Every day, never forget.